Good morning and welcome to Winnipeg. Now, I have not given up completely on the Yamato. There's a spot over there in the case where it'll fit. Alright, the LEDs came last night. And it feels like there's something in there. Now I know they're really small, but it's not much of it. There's supposed to be 100. I'm scared to look, because what do I do if there's not? You know, maybe I ordered the wrong stuff. It wouldn't be the first time. All right. Hey, I got it. Sometimes it makes me look like an old fool. Oh yeah, there's 100 in there. We'll take a look at them closely later. Oh yeah, they're a lot smaller. You know, the ends of them aren't rounded. The ends of them are, well, we'll take a close look later. Maybe these ones are not designed to emanate the light off the end of the bulb, but out the sides. It might be exactly what we need here. Okay. Heat shrink. How many times didn't I have to read the word heat shrink? Okay. I'm going to pause here because I think my nose is starting to run. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I remember about a year ago I was watching somebody do a tutorial, and if I'm not mistaken, it was about DaVinci Resolve, and this was something that was, as far as I know, it was actually sponsored by DaVinci. So you wouldn't think that they would have a spokesperson with a booger in his nose. But I guess if you're watching it in 4K, you see absolutely everything. Like you probably count the whiskers on my face. And sometimes I shoot in 8K, that's even worse. So absolutely anything that's wrong, you're gonna see it. Okay, now what are we talking about? Oh yeah, the Yamato. No, we're talking about the LEDs and the heat shrink. We're going to experiment with that today. I'll just see if it'll, you know, I got lots of it. May as well give it a try here. Also, another experiment I want to do is I want to see, are those LEDs glass or are they a real hard acrylic? I think they're an acrylic of some type myself. But why would that paint that I tried yesterday not stick to it? It sort of beaded on it. Well, I've also got some enamel paint, some Humbrol enamel. So I'm going to try that and see if that works better. But what I was thinking is if a person only wanted to paint one side of it, the heat shrink isn't going to really work too good unless you kind of cut it open a little bit on one side. But the heat shrink will work to keep the light only coming off the end, that's for sure. We're going to do that later. Now, we do have a rollback. Yes, we have a rollback. But before we talk about the rollback, we're going to talk about the decal here. And what are we going to do about the decal? Well, I am going to try the microsol. Okay, this is the micro set. And this is the micro crystal clear. Okay, this is Solva set. I thought I had I thought I did have some genuine microsol. I think this is the same as microsol, but maybe not. Well, if I had it, it'd be right there because that's where I've been keeping all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this micro set is a lot like microsol. I mean Solvaset. Solvaset is yeah. Okay. I'll get my act together yet. Now, about the brush painting I did yesterday. Uh, Afterwards, I thinned down this paint quite a bit. Probably it's probably a ratio now of about 40% thinner and 60% paint. I'm just guessing. Did not measure it again. And I also added this paint retarder. And and the idea is it won't dry so fast when you brush it on. Uh, I will readily admit that if you want to do a really nice job of painting something large like that, or maybe even something small, go to the extra trouble of using the airbrush. The airbrush does a much more even job for preserving detail, although I am noticing I can see all the detail in those individual boxes. Maybe what I should do is recompose here and we'll take a look at that. I was noticing last night when I was looking at this that I didn't do very good on the edge right here. And this top edge might be visible, so I think I'm going to try my new diluted paint and just see if I notice any difference in it. People are asking me what do I think of this new Mr. Hobby paint. Well, it is different from the Tamiya. It does seem to, as I replied to Jason, UK Jason, it does seem to stick to the plastic better than the Tamiya. It also seems to be a little more difficult to clean out of the brush than the Tamiya. So it might, in other words, it might be a better paint. I don't know. It depends on how you want to look at it. If you want ease of use, you just can't beat that Tamiya stuff. Even if you forget to clean out your brush overnight, Windex will just dissolve it almost instantly, and your brush will be just like new again. Anyway, let's move on here and have our rollback. And in the rollback, you're going to see how I ended up with that Christmas card. Yeah. Earlier today, I had a red envelope delivered to my mailbox. Now, I forgot to check my mail. I never even thought about it until I was outside checking my delivery box for the LED light bulbs that Amazon was supposed to be delivering. Just as I was going into the house, I thought, hey, check the mailbox. Okay, red envelope. I wonder who it's from. And I couldn't see a return address on there, and well, I guess we're going to have an envelope opening. Yeah, we have had box openings, package openings, and now we're going to have an envelope opening. Okay, I've given this its second coat. I'm noticing I didn't do a very good job. I think I'm going to have to thin that paint out and maybe add a little bit of this flow retarder or whatever it's called. I do have it. Anyway, got what I believe is a Christmas card in the mail today. I almost didn't check the mail. Now I've got a feeling it's probably from a viewer. So let's have a little look here. Christmas greetings. Oh, for goodness sakes. From the Isle of Wight to Winnipeg, a custom-made card. Now, I'll bet you this is from Martin. He's from the Isle of Wight. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter wanted to make a card to send to the model boatman in Canada. Well, thank you so much. That is really nice. That is really nice. Here, I'll recompose here so that you can see it. Now, if you want to be able to read this, I suggest you press the pause button. Very, very nice. Look at that. Isle of Wight, Winnipeg. I like that. I'm going to find a special place for that. Thank you very much. Okay, looks like almost five millimeters there. And almost 3 millimeters. Well, maybe it was 5 and 3 because I just noticed this doesn't go right down to 0. I guess I forgot to 0 it before I started. Okay. All right, we were going to try one of these now and see how does the light emit off of it. Okay, it should go this way. Maybe I'll recompose and get in a little closer here. Okay, we'll try this again. Whoops. Okay, yeah, I can see right now that the this one does it more off of the side. Well, maybe not. We got a connection problem going on here, but let's turn it. Yeah, this does seem to be more out the side than the bigger ones. So, well, not only are they the right size, but let's see if we can dim it down. It's way too bright here. I'm just going to adjust my voltage here a little bit. Yeah, these are much more dimmable. Well, I guess the others were dimmable too, but I think that these ones are going to be more for what we want. Yeah, that looks more natural. Looks like a light fixture glowing, doesn't it? Let's see it more from the side. I don't want to turn my voltage up too much and burn them out. They're only rated for, I think this one said it was 3.2 volts. So, and it does seem to be somewhat brighter for the same voltage than the larger ones. But anyway, all right, we'll see what happens. Now let's try some heat shrink on one of these here. Okay, I think this is the next size up, so this is the one we're going to have to use. And we'll cut it off so that only the dome is visible. Or at least we'll put it on that way. Now it's going to shrink, so yeah, not only is it going to shrink in diameter, but it's also probably going to shrink this way, I would think. I can't remember. I don't use these things every day. But Okay, let's cut, see what happens. Okay, now if this is going to shrink this way, we're going to want to cut it maybe a tiny bit longer. I just wanted just the dome part of this to stick out. So let's do it about here, like this. I suppose I could have used the Tamiya nipper on that, couldn't have I? All right, I'll shove this in like that. Okay. Now we got to remember that if we're wanting to mount this thing in a, you know, in the plastic, in the ceiling part, the overhead bulkhead, then what's going to have to happen is that you know, I would think I would want to drill a hole. Now, mind you, I'm not going to use these 5mm anyway. This is just a test to see how well the heat shrink's going to work. Okay, let's recompose here and get my heat gun going. I should take another one of these things and see will it melt under high heat? Because if it's acrylic, it will. Okay, let's stop talking and start acting here. Okay, I can't remember what temperature this requires, but I know some people use a match. Now that's pretty hot flame, but I'm going to set this to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and we'll see what happens. You know what? Maybe I should be putting on the macro lens. Okay, here we go again. Well, I think that is shrunk as much as it's gonna. Let that cool now. It's kind of useless to be used in a model because it's way too big. But is this hot yet? Maybe a little bit. Okay, you can see here where the heat shrink tubing closed itself in pretty good underneath, didn't it? I guess it couldn't get any smaller on the diameter here because it was closed in on the bulb itself. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's hook it up and see what kind of light we get out of it now. Okay, right now I am pumping 3.3 volts into it. And it's probably about as bright as I would want to have it. I would probably actually not have quite that much. And there's nothing coming out the sides. Obviously it couldn't because of the tubing. But off of the top, it's very, very bright. Yeah, it's very, very bright off the top. Okay, the plan is to try and determine, is this glass or is it acrylic? Okay, I'm sort of focused right on the surface of the large 5mm one, and the idea is to try and scratch it. Hey, Do you want to be moved in a little closer? I'll bet you would. Okay, I was noticing in the monitor there that I can see the reflection of the ring light off the surface of this thing. So now I got to be able to hold this with something so that it's not going to move when I try to scratch it here. Now hold it down. Now this is a new hobby blade. Okay, so here we go. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is acrylic. So why will the paint not stick to that now? I was pretty sure this was acrylic. Okay. Well, we should be able to sort of score it, although it doesn't want to. It's kind of a weird kind of acrylic. Yeah. Okay, what about the smaller one? Is it acrylic as well? Probably is. Yeah, you can see I scratched it there. Okay, now you can see the way it's a little bit, oh my goodness, getting away on me here. Okay, you can see on the end there now it's sort of flat on the end. I thought it was actually a little bit concave, but it's not. It's if I get it just right, I can see it's perfectly flat. Okay, all right, enough. Okay, this Humbrol paint is made in England. Don't know if you can read that, but it says England there, in the city of Hull. And but look at this. It says enamel, email. Now, obviously, England was way ahead of Canada, because when I bought this like 45 years ago or whenever, we didn't have email here in Canada. In fact, I don't think we'd even heard of it. So, yeah, I wonder if UK Jason had email back in the around 1981. Okay, let's check this out here. This lid has not been taken off for a long time. It's getting bent all out of shape here. Here it comes. But look at what I've done to my lid. You know, I shouldn't maybe be doing this on my green cloth, should I? Let's recompose here. Okay, what I've done is I've taken this LED. This is a new one that I haven't done anything with before, and I wiped it off really good with isopropyl. I'm noticing little white specks on it, though. That's probably maybe from the paper towel that I used to dry it off. Okay, so we're not going to touch this with our fingers now. And we can open this up the rest of the way. It was almost open. And I did shake this up in the paint shaker. And I don't know if I got all the sludge off the bottom or not. Okay, here we go. Let's just get a... Where's my paintbrush gone? Okay. Be prepared. Okay, now the idea is... I'm trying to hold this with my left hand. And we just want to see, is this going to paint or is it going to pool? And I don't know, maybe the pigment is all stuck on the bottom here. I can smell it. It does seem to be going on differently. It's not beading. Yeah, it's not beading like the acrylic did. Okay, I can see where... I'm going to find a toothpick or something and stick it down the bottom of this tin, because I got a feeling that the pigment's all down in the bottom. Oh yeah, I should have used my little paint stirrer that I made way back when I bought these. You know what? I'm going to redo this experiment. I mean, look at that. That's terrible. Okay, I've cleaned the paint off of this, and did the isopropyl thing again. So we're back to where we were, and I've got a bit of a problem in that I could not find my battery-operated paint stirrer that I made. So it was a little tiny toy electric motor with a nail soldered on the shaft, and it actually worked pretty good. So I'm going to try this. If I slow this right down to its slowest speed, it might not throw paint all over the place. Maybe. Hence the rubber gloves. Okay, so here we go. I know the little paint stirrer worked really well in these little metal tins. Now, am I going to be able to put this in without it splashing all over? At least I'm not wearing Jeff's yellow shirt. I'm going to have to lengthen the nail. Should have thought of that. Of course, now we're going to have more run out, and the wobble is going to be worse, so it might splatter. Okay, I know I cut out quite a bit there, but at least I should have. But it looks much more creamy and homogenized now. Yeah. Okay, let's recompose and try this again on our LED here. Okay, here we go again. Let's get that lid off. Now, that paint looks a lot better. Now we're just going to paint the one side. This is going to take a lot longer to dry than the acrylic. Now the idea is we just paint one side, then this should be, you know, blocking the light more or less. And this is probably going to take overnight to dry. I think I got a little bit too thick there, didn't I? Now we're just trying to do the bottom half of this thing should be, all being well, it should be clear unless it runs down underneath. Might as well just do the bottom too, and that way no light is going to get out from the underneath. Well, I suppose some will, because I didn't do the other side. Well, let's go like that, maybe. Maybe come in like this. Oh, careful now here. Don't bump anything. Okay, I do believe we've basically got it the way I want it. Okay, let's let that dry overnight. Move on to something else here. Yeah, we were going to work on our decals, weren't we? Or decals. Okay, I know that we did look at this yesterday, but we're looking at it again today. Now, we have to get numbers 57, 58, and 59. And they go here, here, and here. Then on this entire bottom section is number 16, which is up here. This whole thing goes on. Now, I think rather than trying to paint this, which probably going to end up a little darker than it is now, if I want all these dark things to stand out, I think that what we want to do is just leave this plain, and then I'll paint around the outside whatever color it's supposed to be. It could be any color. Well, no, I guess it couldn't be any color. Okay, now a moment ago, when I was setting up to take this shot, just like we are right now, I heard Missy barking at my door. And I went to my door, and Missy was there, but also a little box was sitting on my doorstep. And I was thinking, I don't remember ordering anything, and it's from Mississauga. Now, the only place I can think of in Mississauga is the hobby store that I got the paint from. Remember that we had the screw up with the Canada Post? Well, yeah, they're actually in Mississauga. That's part of Toronto. So we're going to have ourselves a box opening here. This might be almost the end of today's episode. I don't know if we're going to have time now to mess around with this. Well, I seem to have time to poke at it, don't I? Okay, let's have a box opening. I suppose once I open this and I see what's inside, I'm going to think, oh yeah, I remember I ordered that. But right now I can't think of what it is that I ordered. And if you will recall, the hobby store is in Mississauga, and they're mad at me. At least I think they are. I'd be mad at me. Okay, I think it'll probably open like this. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Oh, for heaven's sakes. For heaven's sakes. USS South Dakota. I'm going to recompose, and we're going to take another close look. A genuine USS South Dakota. Okay, I'm kind of speechless again. Yeah, just let me recompose here, and we'll take a nice look at this. Okay, here's what's happening. This is not the USS South Dakota battleship. This is the USS South Dakota nuclear-powered submarine that just got commissioned here not that long ago. I think they were in the news. And yeah, this is you wouldn't call this sub small potatoes. This is a big nuclear-powered sub. I believe it has a crew of over 100. And yeah. Now, I don't know who sent this to me, but thank you very much. It's a good thing we got room for one more mug up there on the coffee mug shelf. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to call it quits here for today. Yeah, we'll have to use this, I was going to say tomorrow, but we can't use it tomorrow. Tomorrow's pizza day, but the next day. Yeah, I'm going to have to print out a new list now and fit this one in. And I'm very happy to be able to do it too. I'm lost for words here. I'm going to call her quits, so thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.